Welcome to TRADEREP. This is Short Hammer. It is the 23rd of August 2019, and we are looking at Amazon. Now, yesterday Amazon did push up a little bit, and then we just had selling. Market just pulled back. And the interesting thing about Amazon is that it's sort of coiling a little bit. It's finally made it over these 1790s, but it's hit its head trying to get through these 1830s. Just can't do it. Can't close above that. And the last time it was above 1830s was, what day is this? This is the 2nd of August. And we're nearing the end of August. So this is an interesting setup for Amazon. And we see these HD lines that it's been obeying. If you look at these movements, it pierced here, regained, smashed into it here, back down, and we kind of floated, feather, got back into it here, pushed down, boom, feather through, boom, can't get through, boom. So this will be interesting for tomorrow, just looking at the 4-hour, because we could see expansion down to the 1760s or lower, and we can see expansion to the upside all the way through the 1840s, 1850s, potentially, depending on what comes out on Friday from Powell at Jackson Hole. So we do have probably some range in here that we want to watch, because if we clear the 1830s, like 1833, 1830, if I see 1834, I'm probably going to grab a call for a squeeze into the 1845 or higher area on Amazon. If I see us below 1792, we can see it spill down into 1760s. So there could be a little bit of, what I would say, range on Friday, but we don't want to guess or preempt what's going to happen. We want to see what the reaction is and see how heavy either the selling is or how heavy the buying is, to see if we can take it to the next levels. Let's look at the lower time frame. Now, this is Amazon on the 5-minute chart. Now, we see the pre-market, we had highs of 1830, and then also lows of what looks to be about 1813. So if we go into the open, we kind of tapped a little bit above the highs from the pre-market. Didn't really go anywhere. Dropped down. We bounced off the top of the supply-demand zone, pulled back up. But you can see that it's like we couldn't catch a bid. There was no strength in this move to sort of break the top and take us up above this 1830-41 area and squeezes into the 1833s. And then we just rolled. And we spilled through the supply-demand zone. We see they're like trying to catch a bid. Buyers don't believe it. They're moving out of the way. And demand doesn't step in until we crash through the 1805 area and almost touch the 1798 supply-demand line. And then we see the buyers trying to catch a bid at the 1805 supply-demand line. Just look at these wicks, the interactions. Then we push up a little bit, pull back to it, push up a little bit, pull back to it, push up a little bit. And they're trying to take off here and push back up. And couldn't quite get through the 1818s. Back down, push back up into it, back down, then right into the close. We kind of rolled back down through the 1805s, which we're riding right now, the supply-demand line. If we look back, because it's sometimes pretty good to look at the previous day also, we see that we did kind of tap out around this 1829-ish area at the open and kind of sold off. And we go back again. We bounce here at 1798. 1805, pierce through but regain. 1805. You start to see these levels. 1826, it didn't even quite get to the 1829s, and us struggling to close over certain levels. So what's that mean for us going into today? It means let's watch and see what happens pre-market and see the levels that we get to. Do we see buying pre-market that squeezes us up? Do we get above the supply demand zone here, 1818 by 1823? do we go lower below the 1798 area, which is an important line, an important area, the same way that the 1995 area was important to hold the upwards movement of Amazon when we were trying to get back into those 2000s. We definitely want the 1798 area to hold and give us a little bit of upside momentum, and we have to get through the 1830s. So we'll see what happens with the potential for news coming out of the Jackson, I think it's called Jackson Hole, or whatever the meeting is that the Fed is having. But we'll see. But let's see. I think tomorrow's main intraday pivot is right here around 1811. So we'll see if we open above or below that and see how we interact with these lines. For me, I'm just going to be watching, do we hold these bottoms, the 1790s by low 1800, 1805? Do we hold this area as a bottom? And if so, do we hold the 1830s as the top? And does that keep us squeezed down here? The 1818, the 1830s, are we stuck? Are we going to just be stuck moving between this area, consolidating still? It's definitely a little bit of, even though it's somewhat of a channel, it's a big enough channel that if you get at the bottoms, you could ride it back up and make some nice money on this. But what we want from Amazon is, 40 points, 35 points, 50 points. We want a big movement from Amazon in one direction. So we'll see. And I think the edges of this is watching the break of the 1834 area and volume coming in for us to get a serious rip, and watching the break of the 1798, 1792 area and volume coming in and getting a serious drop to the downside. So we just have to wait to see which direction we go, but not biased in either direction on Amazon, because right now Amazon has no catalyst of its own. It's kind of moving with the news and the market. So whatever else is going on in the market, that's the direction Amazon is moving. So just keeping an eye on this and seeing if we get any expansions beyond the supply demand lines and the zones that are just, I say, in this proximity to the movement we've been having in the last, I'll say, week or so. Can we get beyond these areas? Can we push through this 1830, 3378? And can we get below this 1792? Can we get outside of this little box? We'll see.